Hi, my name's Thomas, and I'm an American that's been living abroad for over a decade. I want to share with you my experience of not just living abroad, not just all the great things, and which I will do, not just how I built up businesses, how I bought land and property and started my family, and I think became very successful. But I want to share with you my experience of coming back home to my country, the USA. I was born and raised in the USA, and it took me a long time actually to shed that, like a snake shedding its skin. And I do mean that. There's a lot of qualities that I think Americans, we can learn from being international, and I would like to share those with you. But first I want to share with you my experience coming back home. I left here a long time ago, and America was completely different than it is now, although many things were the same. For example, behind me, this place called Centennial Park, and it's near where I live. This is Edina, Minnesota. It's actually a pretty good neighborhood and very nice city. It's part of Minneapolis. It's a suburb, just starting suburb now of it. Although this has changed tremendously since I remember it. And I'll tell you about that later. I chose this area because I thought it'd be a good place to start, is what I did. And I thought it'd be great. And I'm gonna tell you right now how I started. I came back here not too long ago, before summer began. It was still cold, it was rain and snow. It's very strange. I wasn't used to it. I was used to snow because I did live in Siberia for a long time. So no problem there, and I grew up in Minnesota, so snow was no problem. But it was just the middle of the night, and it wasn't the way I wanted to start out to be. I didn't want my wife and family to begin like that either. The flight was great. We flew from Seoul, Korea. Although getting to Seoul was quite an experience. We went from Russia. We had a friend drive us with all of our things. We had 31 boxes we brought to the US. We brought all those. Half of them were probably my children's toys and clothes, because I didn't want them to feel homesick or feel strange because they didn't have that, and it's very important for me that they felt comfortable. But we brought all those on a big truck, drove down to Mongolia, and then from Ulaanbaatar, the capital city of Mongolia, beautiful place by the way, I've been there many, many times. We took an airplane to Korea, and then from Korea to Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport in Minnesota. Minnesota is where I'm from, so I thought it'd be good for my children to also experience it, and my wife as well. I wanted them to know about me and my homeland, which I deeply appreciate, but also to learn the culture, at least how it was when I was. Now it's completely different. It's a very different world now, here in the US. When we first arrived, actually let me begin even before it, just taking the airplanes was incredible. Because we were going to the US from Korea, it was a huge, huge problem. Why? They want to know, did you have your COVID vaccine? Do you have your COVID vaccine? Do you have your COVID vaccine? What COVID? It's been over a long time ago. They were making a big deal about it to my wife and children, just because they weren't American. Me, they didn't care about, but because of them. And the US put on various stipulations about this stuff a while ago, and it made it very difficult to travel like that. My family, we never got the shots. They didn't offer those shots in other countries. The US version, because the US only wanted the US version. Other countries had their own versions, by the way. Russia had their own shots. Everyone had their own versions. But the US wanted their version, which meant the US companies. And I don't want to get into that. You know, I think all of you are sick of it, and I am too. So once we were able to get our way on the airplane, I'm not going to say how we were able to do it. Let's just say sweet words and some paperwork. But we got on it. We were finally relaxed. Korean Airlines was great. I love it. I've been to Korea a lot. Beautiful, beautiful people, beautiful place. All the people on there were mostly Korean, so it was great. And everyone dressed nice and great. looked great. Until I arrived to the U.S. at the airport. First of all, everyone working at the airport didn't look like the people that I remember being there. Nothing against them. I'm a big fan of immigrants. I like them. I'm an immigrant in other countries, so I know what it's like exactly. But they need to speak some English, and most of them didn't even speak English. And my wife thought, what? Like, this is weird. Like, the people that were allowing us to get in the country were people that weren't even born in the country. Incredible. I think they were Somalian or something. But anywho, quite an experience. I thought, okay. Our baby stroller got broken on the way, which if you're parents, baby strollers are big things. We brought all our baby strollers. We brought everything. We spent over $5,000 bringing boxes just on the airplane like that, because it was so difficult to get to transport to the U.S. at that time, and we didn't want to wait a month for half the stuff. So we spent a lot of money to get those things here. The airport experience was okay. I mean, I didn't expect a lot from it. I traveled from Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport a bunch of times in the past. Although I thought it would have been updated and changed, no, it wasn't. Wasn't at all, sadly. We took a taxi to our hotel. I booked a hotel well in advance. Nice hotel in Minnetonka. Minnetonka is a wealthy suburb. I wanted my children and wife to have a great impression of the U.S. and of Minnesota. Want to make sure we're staying good. So, yeah, and no problem with that. We've stayed in many hotels when we've traveled together in other countries. Very nice diamond hotels. Forget stars, diamonds. When you get to a higher level, diamonds are more important. And then there's even above that, just to let you know. I'm so used to hotels in other countries, to the service, to the amenities, to affordability even of it. Treated like a king, like an emperor in other hotels. Not in the U.S. There's no idea of service. I think service is gone in the U.S. It's just gone. Let's just say that. But anyway, we took a taxi to our hotel. It costed just over $100. It wasn't even far. And I can't believe it. The hotel was an amazing experience. And I don't mean that in a good way. I mean, it was the worst experience of my life. Now, we arrived to the U.S. with literally luggage full of cash. We had a bunch of stuff, but we had our luggage. And we left all our boxes at the airport. We had them hold it there for a few days while we get situated. I took some sweet words just for that. Everyone's so fear and scared about everything that it's impossible to do anything here. So we got to the hotel. They wouldn't take us. They declined us because we didn't have a card. We were dressed good. I had children, the family, beautiful wife, everyone dressed good. We didn't look like drug dealers, which I saw. We didn't look like prostitutes, which I think I saw. They said no, just because we didn't have a bank card. I couldn't use my cards because we were coming from Russia. And my cards were from Russian. I had other cards from other countries, but I didn't want to use those. Because I knew that maybe there'd be questions on those too. And I couldn't believe it. I mean, and I offered to pay cash. They wouldn't take cash. Like I said, here, let's leave a $5,000 deposit. I'll pay for the whole stay too, 2 weeks in cash. They said no. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. My head almost blew off. I couldn't believe it. My children were sleeping, thank God. My wife was almost in tears. I was thinking, okay, how are we going to get to another hotel on, I think it was a Monday night, middle of the night, 1 a.m. How are we going to do this? I asked the guy if we could use the Wi-Fi. because, you know, I have my phones. They're from other countries. I didn't have a, you know, a U.S. plan here or anything. I didn't have a U.S. chip. Well, bless you. And they said, no, this guy was being totally, I don't want to use profanity, but you can put your own words in there. I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe this is the first impression of the U.S. The worst. After a lot of talking, he finally allowed us to use, you know, the computer over there, which it could have been a Commodore 64. I don't know. It was so ancient. The computer in this hotel was so ancient. And so I hopped on there looking for other hotels, looking. In the meantime, he finally said we could use the Wi-Fi. So then I connected my phone to the Wi-Fi. Hold on, there's a police siren. Always. Even in the nice areas now in the U.S., all you hear is police sirens. Maybe ambulance, I don't know. So I was using them, texting these hotels because I couldn't call. And finally, they're all of them said no. They all wanted cars. The taxi driver in the meantime was waiting. And so I asked him, do you know any place we could stay? He said he did, and he brought us to a place. It was extended stay. If you're familiar with extended stay, this isn't the top of the tree for hotels. I mean, we went to it. It was in Bloomington, which used to be a nice area. I guess wasn't anymore. And we went to it, and it was incredible. There were just, you know, ladies of the night, prostitutes there. Disgusting, not beautiful, disgusting. Weird, sketchy people. It was disgusting. You know, the person that worked at the counter was behind this fake glass with a little hole. Like, this is the service. This is my first impression coming back. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, get us out of here. So we paid again, and we went to 3 more hotels similar to that. All of them said no. Finally, he called his friend, and he knew one place. That was an extended stay in Eagan. Eagan is a southern suburb of the Twin Cities area. It's okay, I guess. We got there, it looked a little better, meaning there weren't a lot of, it didn't look like, you know, drug dealers and prostitutes in the front. It was like 4 in the morning or 3 in the morning we got there. And paid cash, paid a deposit, and finally got up to the room and crashed. Everyone went to sleep. I went down to the vending machine. I got some things, water for $3, $3 bottle of water, because this place didn't have water, didn't have anything. I couldn't believe it. Then I got a bag of pretzels for $3.50. Because I knew that, you know, we needed something. My wife, my children needed something to munch on and feel comfortable. And so that was it. That was our first night, was that. The next day, what did I do? I walked across the bridge. We were near a bridge, and because I talked to some people there was a lot of truckers staying at the hotel and people working out of state, which I was surprised. There's no one to work in Minnesota, but I'm learning here. I went to the convenience store, gas station, across the bridge. I walked there at like 6 in the morning or 7 in the morning, and right away loaded up. They had a lot of stuff, actually. It's like a grocery store almost. They even had a Mexican little restaurant in it that was opening very soon, but didn't do that yet. Right away loaded up, got a little, got water, big jug of water, got some milk, orange juice, donuts, I think. Some little food, cheese. There's little things there for my children and wife to eat. I didn't want to eat anything because I knew I had to be about business. I had to stay focused and get us right away going. So I got that right away. We took showers, got up. I said, hey, you guys go walk around. I'm going to go here and I'm going to get a new phone. And that's what I did. I took a taxi to where? To Mall of America. Not too far. Mall of America, the great mall of the U.S., the biggest mall in North America. Do you hear? If you hear that, that's Vietnamese accent speaking. Anyway, and you know, I remember the mall when it was built. That was when I was in high school here in Minnesota. The mall, and it was great. Bloomingdale's, Nordstrom, you know, very expensive luxury places, nice restaurants. When I got a little older, the top floor of the mall had bars and restaurants and very lively entertainment place. I loved going shopping there. I went there now, the place looks like a dump. It looked like I was in a third world country, and I've been to third world countries. No popular stores, no nice things. The best store there was an Apple store, and that's why I went there. Because I wanted to get an iPhone. I need to get a new phone. I had an older version iPhone, but I need to update and I need to get phone service ASAP to get going. And that's what I did. Bought the latest and greatest iPhone, asked them where can I get some phone service connection. They told me there was a store just a couple stores down. So I guess their phone service in the mall. So that's what I did. It was T-Mobile. I started with T-Mobile. And the family plan, $150. I got 3 phone lines, $150, and that was it. Which, by the way, in a lot of other countries is pennies on the dollar for unlimited service. $10 or $20 a month, unlimited. But in the US it's $100, or if you get a family plan it's $150 or more. So that's what I did right away. Got that, got the phone connected, and walked around the mall a little. I actually started crying in the mall. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe what everybody looked like. Everyone's so fat, like just big, and I don't mean like muscle big, just fat and wearing slobby clothes. I mean, no one even looked interesting. Everyone looked like poor trash people. It was disgusting, and half the mall was all people wearing things on their head, like here, like them, like her. Nothing against her. She, you know, I love them. Some are very beautiful and beautiful culture. But I didn't expect to see the whole shopping mall full of that. I didn't expect that at all. And the normal, I could say, white people looked trashy, so trashy and fat, and looked used, like they just went through war and stuff. Like, they're probably 20 years old, but they looked like they were 40 or 50 already. Just amazing. I couldn't believe it. Tears are running down my face. I couldn't believe it. And I was so disgusted. And the worst part is I couldn't tell my wife, I couldn't tell my children, because this was it. I wanted my children to come here, and we want to get my education when I was a child here. It was great. I was really worried. I thought, okay, but I don't know. Who knows? Maybe, you know, maybe these are just people from some country bumpkin town that just moved up. Who knows? I gave the benefit of the doubt, you know. I'm always a very positive, optimistic person. Very. Although America is really testing me. Really testing me. After that, right away I went to a bank. I looked online what was top banks. So I opened up 2 bank accounts. First one was at Bank of America. I had to use the address at the hotel we were staying. Hotel. Christ. Because you need an address here. And that's the thing, is for people who are homeless, how do you even begin? How can you even start it? Because you need address. You need credit reports. You need all this stuff to get going. It's not just about money. Like, money is easy. Like, I have a bunch of money I came here with, but it was still extremely difficult. Extremely difficult. When I went to the Apple store, I bought my phone. I paid in cash. They looked at me like I was the king of Saudi Arabia. They couldn't believe. And I said, is it so strange to pay with cash? And they said, well, usually the last person that did that came with a briefcase and opened it up, and literally they were from a Middle Eastern country and they did it. Or Chinese people come with cash and do it. Americans are so poor, they have no cash. All they have is cards, credit cards. They have no cash. Like, it's strange to go with $1,000 and buy a phone. Every other country, you go with cash and you buy it. Cash. Cash is king all over the world. Today, right now, 2025, cash is king. Trust me. Yeah, people use apps. People use their phone to buy things. Like in Russia, you just use your phone number. You're on your phone to buy everything. People can send you money just to your phone. Just type your phone number and send the money. You don't need to go through Apple Pay or some third company that takes fees or takes money or, tries to lock you in like that. Do you guys know, like, Apple everything? You guys even say Apple Pay. I say phone pay. I want a phone pay. Apple Pay. You guys, that's how weird it is. Weird. Everyone here is one-minded. Only one. There can never be options. It's all monopoly. There's no choices here. So after I got the phone right away and I opened up the bank account, they said it'd be a week for me to get my card, which was ludicrous. Every other place I got my card there. Yeah, and that was Bank of America. And I said, I can't do that. I need to use this today. So they put it on my phone and they said, here's how you do it. You put it in your phone. I had them do it. And then they showed me everything. It's great, Okay, good. We're back in business. Let's do this. First thing I did, Craigslist. I don't have Facebook. I didn't use Facebook probably for 20 years. It's old and boring. I know Americans love their Facebook. I'm telling you, the whole world every country has their own apps, and the apps are cool. Forget China. I mean, like, a lot of countries have apps. They have their own apps and their own versions of doing things, and they're very interesting, very energetic, and very positive. Facebook is just boring. Though I understand Facebook, you serve a need and, you're making good money. Why not? Good job, Meta. Keep it up. Anyway, but yeah. So I went to Craigslist, looking at cars, called up a bunch, went back home, talked to my wife about the options. We were amazed at the crappy things that were so expensive on Craigslist, like these crappy cars, and they want thousands and thousands. Like, you can't get any car under $10,000 or $20,000. I couldn't believe it. And finally we found one, and I said, okay, let's do this. It was a Nissan Murano, 2004. The ad was written in Spanish, and I can speak Spanish too. I speak about 4 or 5 languages. Spanish, Mandarin, Chinese, Putonghua, Japanese, Nihongo, and also Russian, Burdyat. But my Russian and Burdyat are pretty low level still, I think. But I can easily get by in Russia and Buryatia and Mongolia. So I read it right away, called him. The guy was from Ecuador. I thought, great. I lived in Peru for a couple years in Lima, and I trust him. I talked to him in Spanish. Good. I went over there. I checked out the muffler, checked out the engine. Everything was great. Seemed good. It looked good. The body was good. 6,500, 120,000 miles. I didn't care. We were so burnt out, and we didn't care. Cash, boom. There you go. I talked him down a little money, so it was okay. He used it himself. He took out his work things. He worked construction, I think. And that was it. Got the car rolling. Went to the driver's license bureau. Found out my license expired. I forgot in the US that license expire after 3 years in a lot of states, except for 1 or 2. I'll tell you about those 2 later, by the way. But yeah, so I right away applied for my new one. I have nothing, so it was easy. Again, I had to wait, get in the mail. By the way, I forgot to say that right before this, we didn't have an address because we were still living in a hotel, so we opened up a UPS box, like a PO box, but a UPS store, so we have a street address, so that way I could use that for all mail or addresses or anything. So that's the address I used then when I went there. And I did that on right after we bought the car. We drove out to a nice area, you know, one of the best zip codes I wanted, and then got the mailbox there. And that would be the address I use always. I learned that a while ago, also when traveling, and also when I had businesses. I wanted to keep my private life. I didn't want things to go to my family, and you know, people are crazy sometimes. You know how it is. Anywho, so that's what I used for my driver's license. Then they would send it there, and I had the paper version. You know, because in America you get nothing right away. Everything takes weeks to do, I guess. Yeah, that was it. So, got phone, got car, got my driver's license. And then I went and we went back to the Apple store and got my wife her phone. I wanted her to feel the experience, you know. It was her first real Apple store, and I wanted her to get her own phone herself. It was a great experience, and she loved it. And she even got a better one than me, of course. You know, of course, why not? Wife should always get the better one. Husband doesn't need the best one. Always. But yeah, that was my first experience there. After I got the phone, things got a little easier, of course, but I needed a car. The buses here are the worst. Buses here, 3 hours to go somewhere, they're so slow. $1.50 or $2, I couldn't believe it. I remember them slow, you know, when I grew up in the 90s here. I couldn't believe in 2025 it's still like that. Like the rest of the world, buses are quick. Go to Lima, boom, 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 quick. Go to Argentina, quick. Go everywhere. They're quick, they're cheap, and they're very easy and comfortable. Regular people use them. In the US, it's strange. You take a bus here, it's like the lowest of lowest people are on the bus. I'll save that for another video. Thank you for checking this out. Please follow, subscribe, give me a heart, you know. Heart me, please. And because I want to share a lot of experiences. I want to share also a lot of positive things of ways to do things, ways to do business here. A lot of opportunities here in the US that I've learned from abroad, and I want to share that to you. See ya.